Welcome to Bedford County Sports Talk Live, hosted by David Thomas, Bill Anderson, and Kenny Parker. Brought to you by First Bank of Shelbyville. And Kincaid Service Company. Let's talk some sports. Here are your hosts, David Thomas, Bill Anderson, and Kenny Parker.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Bedford County Sports Talk Live here on Shelbyville Now and Bedford County Sports. Today I have with me Mr. Bill Anderson, Kenny Parker as always.
Say Kenny Parker.
That's what somebody told me. I can't look at him, y'all.
And there's a reason for this, guys. We'll get to it here in a little bit.
And then Mason Shavers. Mason, it's good to have you with us this morning, coming off a big win.
Great game of the night.
Thank y'all for letting me on here today.
We're going to take a break and come back. We're going to hear from our sponsors, First Bank of Shelbyville and Kincaid
Service
Company.
We'll be right back.
This company is a locally owned family business that has proudly served the Middle Tennessee area since 1934. We have a wide selection of furniture, appliances, electronics, and mattresses for every budget and design taste. We carry the brands that you know and trust, so you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Need financing? We have you covered. With our service department, you can rest assured that we will take care of you after the purchase. Visit our Shelbyville store at 400 Madison Street today.
Yes.
All right, welcome back in here again to Bedford County Sports Talk Live. We want to welcome all our guests that we have on chat this morning. I see Mr. Scott Spray out there. Good morning, Scott. It's good to see you. And Scott is probably Shelbyville Central High School's #1 fan.
Yep.
Ooh, great.
He's there at every game. He never misses.
Nope.
And, he gets there early. He don't miss anything.
Good.
So, special shout-out to Scott. And there's a bunch of good Central fans. They got out in the weather on Thursday, and then we had a bunch of people out last night in the middle of what was left over of Tropical Storm Helene. We had community in Cannon County playing.
Which that was Thursday night.
That was Thursday night. And we moved everything to Thursday night, and those games got rained on too. So,
But I will tell you right now, I'm proud of this storm. It hit Bedford County just right, low and slow, and
yeah.
I don't have a water pump at my house anywhere. It sucked it all up.
Well, yeah, so it's like a sponge.
We really needed it.
Yeah. So community goes down 54-0. That's just a tough situation.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not getting any better.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you go back and go through practice and try to get the kids up after a loss like they've had?
Well, you still haven't played a region game.
Yeah.
That region starts next week. So,
like we talked about, we got to work the whole season for these last 2 or 3 games that we feel like we got a chance at. So, I don't know. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. We'll have our coaches show this week.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to Coach Grooms, and he can give us some insight on things that are going on there. We've got Cascade going down to Forest, 48-0. Of course, Forest has got that high flying offense going, and then the rain did not shut them down.
They have got a freshman that is for real.
Palmer said he could be an 8th grader. His age, he was like 14 years old. Yeah.
He rushed for almost 200 yards and had an interception last night.
5 different people scored touchdowns for him.
So, Cascade's still going through that injury. You have years where you'll have any injuries, and you have years where you just got them, and they're down. They lost their starting quarterback first game. I think their senior is down now, who's one of their leading defensive players, and they were having to bring in another guy last night to play quarterback for that game that has a never played quarterback. So,
well, we're going to talk about individual players, how they affect the entire team chemistry when we talk to Mason here in just a few minutes. about Central, but that makes a huge difference. You can see like Columbia. We're going to talk about Columbia losing to Tullahoma last night, 13-0. It looks like they had a couple of kids out. Of course, it was rain. They passed the ball a lot. We're going to get into that, but 2 or 3 players out.
Gone, just weren't there, or they weren't there on the television game we're watching.
And that changes the entire dynamic of a team, and it affects the outcome, obviously. And when you've got key players out, it's hard to keep moving.
And when you lose these kids, they're not like the Packers that can go get one from the Titans.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're not even
or
going
two.
to go there.
Or two.
Very, very hurtful.
We'll talk about that later, too. We're putting this off as long as we can.
I should have worn my Viking stuff just because they're playing the Vikings.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
week.
Yeah, you
I
have been
should've-
representing Unionville then.
I'm representing the Minnesota Vikings, I think, now.
Well, there's not a whole lot that we can say. We don't know all the insights with Cascade and Community, but we do know they're both rebuilding. They got injuries. They got
And I know this
players
week at Cascade, they're playing Monterey, and I'm pretty sure I think they're retiring Corey Phillips' jersey. So it's going to be a big night.
It's an interesting game for Chapel Hill, too, and they're just right down the road from us because they have Gordonsville coming
They
in for
got
homecoming.
Gordon
That
coming
ought to be a ball
Yeah,
game.
that'll be a pretty good ball game for them.
Gordonsville's pretty good.
But they got shut out last night.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
Mason, do you know Garland Morris?
Yes, sir. That's my grandpa.
Is it? Okay. Well, he's watching you.
And I'm
He just
watching you
flagged
too.
up and said hello. All right. Shelbyville played Thursday night. Brought in Franklin County. Mason, you got to start. I think Stephen had a little turf toe situation going on, so you come in, filled in for him. It showed that you're just ready to play ball, man. How did it feel knowing that you was going to get to lead the team this week?
It felt good. There was not much nerves. A lot of people were asking me if I was nervous. Yeah. It's just a game.
Yeah.
When did you know you was going to get to start?
I would say I figured out Tuesday at practice that day.
Okay, so it was something you prepared for during the week.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Well, Monday night, Stephen came over to the house, and Mom worked on his foot. But me and him were talking Tuesday at practice, and he didn't dress out at practice, so I got to practice at quarterback all week.
Mm-hmm. Good.
I mean, basically, I don't think a lot of people realize, but basically, Marilita is the team trainer for the most part. I mean, she's the one that takes care of everybody.
Well, no wonder he didn't get to dress out.
Well, Mason, you're kind of a utility guy. I mean, you do a little bit of everything.
Everywhere.
I mean, you can play on defense. You can line up at receiver. You've done snaps. You're the holder. You're the quarterback. I mean, you play what? I know you love playing quarterback, but outside quarterback, what is your other favorite position?
I don't really have one. I kind of just whatever coach tells me to play, I'll go play it.
How about signal in plays? He signals those in too.
I've done that before.
Right. So
Mason's the ultimate team guy because
Yeah.
to Mason, it's just about winning, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
Whatever
And
it takes to win.
We talk about chemistry.
Yep.
You got to have Masons.
Yep. That's right.
You've got to
Coach
have
Dryden's told me several times he's probably the toughest player on the team.
that puts it all on the line and does not care.
Right.
If you call his name, you can look at him and tell right now. He does not care. He
Nope.
gives credit to everybody else, and hats off to him.
All right. Well, starting into the game, we kind of start off a little slow.
A little bit.
Yeah, I think it was an adjustment to the rain. You know, everybody
yes,
getting
sir.
used to handling the ball, and
Yes, sir.
and then we start rolling. Mason, you had what 220 something yards passing,
236.
236 or what?
I think Dad calculated it up. I'm pretty sure it was 163 passing yards,
Oh, was it this?
and I think it was 9 for 13.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I just want to give credit to the O-line because I had so much time in the pocket, and I really trusted them guys.
On that pass to Chandler, you kind of sit there and set your feet and patted the ball a couple times and waited. And I know that ball was tough for him to catch because it's wet. But man, that's a perfect pass.
Beautiful pass.
Beautiful pass.
That felt good coming off the finger.
Yeah. And then you had the one to LeBron.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we had that brings another element to our game that makes us tough to stop.
Because when these teams are putting 8-9 in the box, they're coming after Robert the way they
Yes.
are. Y'all know we have and can throw the football, whether it's you, Stephen, or whoever.
Mm-hmm.
And we've started doing that and come up with a pretty good little passing game now.
Oh yeah, it's evolving. And when Mason came off the field, just about every time he came off the field, he had a smile on his face.
Have you ever seen him not smile?
Well, time or two.
Yes,
Well, I've got a question for you, Mason. Who is Xavier Jordan?
Yes.
he is a junior wide receiver. He has really came along this year. He stepped up a lot in 7-on-7 this summer, and right now he is playing his butt off.
Was it just me, or can this kid run?
He can run. He can fly. We've been doing our sprints or on the track,
Uh-huh.
and he's running like a 0.9 something almost every time. So it's pretty quick.
That was a 65-yard pass to him. He came back for it, but there was nobody around this kid. He was wide.
Yeah.
No, they couldn't cover him.
Did you just look up and go, holy cow? Or
Well,
how did that play evolve there?
Well, I caught the snap and I felt pressure because the guy I read out, we block it one way and then it'll leave a guy open, and if he blitzes at me, I can escape so I can see him. Well, he looked like he blitzed, so I just rolled and I saw Xavier and I just dumped it off to him.
I want to ask you this. Wet game, wet ball. How you grip it? What do you do to sling it? Because you can't throw that. You cannot throw the ball on a wet field the same way you throw a ball when it's dry. It's total different grip, total different release.
Well, I was working on it really all week in practice, trying to get the laces almost every time. But, I mean, sometimes you just can't grab them. I just loosen my grip up and just let it fly.
It's almost like shot putting it.
A little bit.
Now, they do rotate the balls, and I noticed that
Mhm.
before the game, you told the ball guy, said, give me the old ones first.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, the new ones, they got that. It's like it's all them dimples. And,
Right.
and the old balls, we've used them so much, they're kind of smoother. I
Right.
can really get a grip on those. Them dimples, when they get wet, it gets real slick.
Yeah, they're kind of hard feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And I felt like if I threw one of them new balls, I might break one of my receiver's fingers. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we come out of that game 42-0.
Let's go back into the first half there,
Yeah.
which I thought the backbreaker was. It's 4th and 3. And Bailey breaks that run right there. That really broke the game open, didn't it?
Yes, sir. I've told him before at one long run he had. I was like, we're gonna get you a touchdown right here. And he scored. I told him he was gonna get it.
And he came out the second half and had another long run, and he was out of the game after that.
Yeah.
And I mean, basically, he played a quarter and a drive and had 175 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns.
Right.
Pretty good.
And Nate came in and did well.
Nate came in.
Dallas came in and did really well.
Yes.
I mean, we've got more depth at running back than what people realize, and Nate's getting better every week.
Dallas had a nice punt return in that game,
Yes.
but he's got a little bit of shifty quickness to him and a little move. I don't know how do you want to describe it, but he's got that wiggle to him.
Yeah, I'd say it's like a wiggle a little bit.
Mhm.
But all of our guys, we're just tough. That's how Coach Dryden's always taught us to be. Just dirty, rotten, tough.
I don't think I've ever seen a team, though, where all the guys on offense, when you talk to them or interview them, they all want to play defense. I mean, just about
everybody
every kid on
wants
your team.
defense.
When you talk to them, they're like, I would rather play defense.
Everybody wants to play defense. There's a reason. You get to hit.
That is very true.
You get to hit.
Yeah.
You ain't pushing. You get to hit.
That's true.
Well, I tell you what, if you watch Robert carry the ball, he hits on offense.
He does.
Yeah,
And
but
Nate does too.
he,
I mean,
he
really
does, but that's a different kind of
Yeah,
hit.
it's a different kind of hit, but he's delivering the blow and not taking it. And that's a big difference. But we come out of this game pretty healthy, and we get an off week. I think everybody will get healthy. We'll get back into the routine, and we've got Cohen back, and then we've possibly got another lineman coming back here down the road, and some other people. Jay Whitelow was back on the field the other night.
Yes, sir.
He's been in the rotation on defense, and then
Let's
Tyson Dunn.
Let's hit that defense again, though. It's just 2 weeks in a row we get a shutout, but they were pretty doggone dominant. We got some interceptions in the game. I know William Bobo had an interception. Chandler Jones had an interception.
And then
We got
what
some
about
turnovers. Brody has a big six.
I don't know what has gotten into that kid. I don't know. He's never done that in his life, but he's just doing it this year.
He showed some speed down the sidelines
He's
too.
faster than you think.
Oh yeah, he is.
And you got a lot of different kids coming in now on defense. Zion Bonner has a big fumble recovery on punt.
Yeah.
Getting down the field on a really
Right.
nice move. But probably Franklin County scores. If it's not for your kicker, Betzelberger making a great tackle, they would have actually scored right there.
Yeah.
And Betzelberger's a weapon.
We missed down there around the 22-yard line. I mean, he was dead to rights, and we missed the tackle, and that opened him up a little bit. But Betzelberger came up there, and he's an athlete. He's an athlete. You think a kicker is just a kicker,
right?
No,
but he can throw the ball too, Kenny.
He can throw the ball too.
Yeah. All right, so it's good to have that versatility. Well, we come out.
And it's good seeing all these different kids now starting to come into the game, and you're like, who's number 30? Who's number 20?
And what you're going to see later on in the year, freshmen and JV balls winding up, winding down. Now you're going to start seeing more of these freshmen, more of these JV guys stepping up. And you get a game like it's 42-0. You're going to get to play. You know, the good thing about 42 is it wasn't 35.
Right.
Because once it gets 35 and that clock goes to running, you don't have time to put them in.
Right.
One thing I was impressed with, you talk about 42. Okay. That means we hit every extra point.
Yeah.
That means you got all the holes down with a wet ball. And the snaps, the hold, you dug one up out.
Yes, sir.
But that is, to me, impressive when you can do that. And you're starting, when it comes to playoff time, those extra points mean something.
Mm-hmm. And I thought when we did have to punt, we punted it better.
Yes. We did punt good.
Jackson came in and boomed one.
And Ian's snaps were all good, and except for that one I had to dig up. But we worked it out, and we're good now.
Okay, Robbie Davis comes in because Robbie Davis has a question for Mason.
All right.
He wants to know, do high school athletes now think about NIL when making a college choice? Also, what do you guys think of UNLV mess? This is a bad precedent. I agree with Robbie.
We're getting to that, Robbie. I promise
but
you.
Do y'all talk anything about that?
Well, if I'm being honest with you, we haven't had a big-time college player come from Sheffield, so I really don't know how to answer that question.
We don't have. I don't think.
No.
Other than Rocky,
the last
Rocky in there.
The last probably true NIL potential player in Bedford County was he played basketball at Webb. Keon. That's probably one of the few you want to talk about good NIL.
You may have one at Webb right now that might be close to that.
And you might have
a
young man at Webb that
might.
It's unfortunate we're in a rural area and our players do not get the attention that the local, like Murfreesboro, Nashville, those kids get more attention. Now, I mean, Robert's getting some attention. He's over 1,000 yards now. He's a junior.
And he's just a junior.
Yeah.
Was he 1,000 yards as a sophomore last year also?
He got 900 something.
He's probably close to being the all-time, if he has a good record. I had somebody call me about that the other day who's the all-time lead rusher at Sheffield. It very well could be this young man
I think
if he stays
Bubba
healthy.
D and I talked about that yesterday back and forth on text. And we came up with some names, but probably Eddings, back when Palmer was here, Michael Eddings had like 1,600 something yards, somewhere around in there. Robert's got a chance to surpass that. Mm-hmm. And before that, you had Roger Porter.
But you got and I was talking to him also. You got to have to be an all-time leader. You got to have somebody that did it as freshman, sophomore, junior.
We're talking about single season.
Oh no, single
season. Because Eddings had 1,600 yards, I think, that one year. Mm-hmm. I think it was his junior year, actually. Yeah, mm-hmm. He went down a little bit. I'd
say it's going to happen, but there's a chance of him over 1,000, only 6 games in.
He got 4. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
He could do it.
He could get to 1,800 yards. Mm-hmm. And like this past game, he comes out middle of the third quarter, toward the end of the third quarter. So he gets a lot. He only carried the ball 14 or 15 times.
We get to blocking for him. We can start calling him B2K.
Well, that's the difference, though, with him and the kid from Fayetteville. We'll get to Lincoln County here in just a second. But they're giving him 35, 36, 37 carries.
Yeah.
Bailey's doing it on 16, 17, 18
Well, in that
carries.
First game, he had 30.
Yeah, he did. But since then, he's not.
And Lincoln County's also putting that running back in Wildcat, too. And giving him the ball just straight up.
Yeah. He was the quarterback for a while there while their starting quarterback was out. But, guys, we need to take a break. Bill, you got some more scores before we go to break?
Yeah, you want to go break, come back and do scores? You want
to? Go ahead and give them to us now. We're going to come back and talk college football.
All right, we will. Tullahoma 13, Columbia nothing. David and I, you talked about it. It was like half the Columbia team wasn't there or something because
and the ones that were there weren't there.
Tullahoma ran the ball nearly every down. Columbia kept trying to throw it. Do not understand why. I had one buddy of mine say he just couldn't believe it. He was over at the game and he goes, I don't believe what I'm seeing. And I was watching on NHS. CS.
What I saw last night was shocked me was Lincoln County was up 21-22 to nothing over
22 to nothing.
Over Giles.
Mason, did you go to that game?
Yes, sir. I went to that game.
What were your thoughts on it?
Well, it was also a rain game.
Right.
So I know the quarterback from Lincoln County. I know he can throw the ball.
He
can throw the ball over the field. There's not just one side and not one route.
They're big as far as physically big, aren't they?
They are big.
Tell me about the running back.
Dobbs, he's a big old dude, but he can run the ball. I mean,
He was a Wildcat quarterback a little
yes,
bit.
sir.
So
Yeah, he came in. I think he came in a couple times when they were like in the red zone, like in the 10-yard line, just so they can punch it in. They have a pretty good little quick cat, number 35, a Carter kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember his first name, but he was flying last night.
He's very deceptive. He looks slower than what he really is, but
Yes.
man, he's gone.
He's
Just
a
Tullahoma was
stocky
big.
kid.
Yeah.
And number 1, he's always been a good receiver for him. Trayshawn Jenkins, he's pretty good. But
That's coming up. Well, let's go to Lincoln County. It's a tough place to play.
Yeah.
Tough place to play down there. And Lincoln County's the best year they've had in a while.
Yeah, they're having a good year.
I think you were talking about Lincoln County, Giles County. I think Giles County is down from
That's
what
what
they
I thought,
normally
too.
are.
I
I
just
mean,
didn't think it
they've
was
struggled
the
with
same.
some teams they should have typically
Right.
boat race, and they struggled with. So,
I don't think they have the skill players that
Yeah.
you normally have. Page 62, Glen Cliff 0. That doesn't surprise anybody. Marshall County 35, Fayetteville 0. Centennial, Nolensville 10-6. Nolensville beat Centennial.
I figured Centennial would beat them. So
I did
that's
too.
who we're going to have to look at. The Nolensville comes up to that 2 spot now.
Right. And Moore County beat Cornersville because it's close. It was 26-0. Moore County shuts them out. And I didn't think that was much of a game. Now they can pull the dogs off.
Yeah.
Basically at
And
halftime.
Cascades opponent this next week, Monterey beat Gordonsville, shut Gordonsville out, beat them 21-0 last night. So
I think Monterey's pretty good this
yeah,
year.
they're going.
What I am told.
Guys,
All right.
let's shift
come back
gears.
into college.
Take a
Let's
break.
hear from Kincaid.
Service.
Company.
And you had a question for Mason.
I do, Mason. Does your dad like hauling stuff off?
He kind of makes me do it a little bit.
He
So
does.
you need to get a job at Kincaid's.
Kincaid's.
That way you'll get paid to haul that stuff
That's
off.
right. If you work at Kincaid Service Company, you can haul it off and get paid to
And
do it.
get paid for it instead of your dad saying, "Hey, Mason, you got to take it off." Dad, could buy it from Kincaid's. I got something else I need.
That's
to
right. Go
Yeah.
get that Kincaid's and get it.
Yeah.
Mason, you're
do. I got
busy.
something else I need to be doing.
The point is, they haul everything off.
They haul it
right.
off. You don't have to mess
You
with
don't
it.
have to.
And if it breaks, they service what they sell.
Absolutely. Let's take a break and hear from them. We'll be right back.
Company is a locally owned family business that has proudly served the Middle Tennessee area since 1934. We have a wide selection of furniture, appliances, electronics, and mattresses for every budget and design taste. We carry the brands that you know and trust, so you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Need financing? We have you covered. With our service department, you can rest assured that we will take care of you after the purchase. Visit our Shelbyville store at 400 Madison Street today.
Pitiful
Who y'all got
times are.
tonight?
All right, guys, we're back in here with Bedford County Sports Talk Live. We're ready to talk some college football, and we're excited about that. I can tell because we were chattering when we came back home from the break. Bill, you have a piece of paper. What is that piece of paper?
I'm going to go back to last night. You had a game, and it was 34-31 at the end of the game. Miami's beating Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech throws a Hail Mary. The kid catches the ball. It's called a touchdown. The game appears to be over. Then they go back and review it, and even Neil Pereira, who I think is the big guru in the Fox, says, well, there's not grounds to overturn this. It's not going to be overturned. And even the kid I don't know what a catch is anymore. He's in the end zone. He's got it. A guy that's out of bounds, I guess once he's laying on the ground, kind of pooches it out, which is Pereira said that's an illegal touch because you're out of bounds.
Right.
They take it away and take it off. Now, my question to you guys is, did it have anything to do with Miami trying to make the playoff? Because if Miami had the situation been reversed, I don't think they would have overturned the call. It comes down to money.
One of these guys somebody in that ACC is going to make the playoffs because they're going to be the champion. So they're going to make a playoff. Now, somebody's going to make it.
Yeah, oh, sure.
Somebody's going to make it. Now,
Well, here's my question to you. If somebody's going to make it, is it going to be Miami, which they look like They were, but if they're struggling that much with Virginia Tech,
Who
they
got
ain't
beat
gonna
on
do nothing.
Vanderbilt?
They ain't gonna do nothing in the playoffs.
Yeah. Tell you what their playoff
Yeah.
team could be. Clemson.
They're coming
this
back.
was one of those deals where I hated to see replay
Yeah.
affect the game the way it, and it should not.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have
I
done it.
agree.
Whatever the call was,
Wish
should have
I'd
been the
seen
call,
it
unless
Friday.
it's clear
Mhm.
that it was a bad call, and then you go back and overturn it. And that was not clear last night. Y'all, you guys can
What
watch
we
it.
got local this week?
Well, we got
Middle's at Memphis.
Middle's at Memphis. 25.5's the line.
Really?
Well, hopefully after this week, Middle will start playing some people that they can be there with.
I just don't think
I'm gonna
Middle's
tell
got
you
enough
right
speed.
now, Memphis pretty good.
Memphis is really good.
Memphis pretty good.
But didn't they lose to Navy last week?
Memphis, I don't think.
I
Have
don't
they
think
lost?
they did.
I don't think they did.
I thought they lost. Navy.
We'll have to check our score.
54, 42, 52, something. It was a really high scoring game. Kentucky and Ole Miss coming up here, guys.
Won't be much of a game.
No, Ole Miss is just powerhouse.
It won't be much
The
of a
line
game.
was 17.5. It's gone down to 15.5.
Yeah, I
I'll take
don't
that.
care.
I'll take Ole Miss giving that much up.
I will.
I will too. I think Kenny's going to put it on them.
Yeah.
Oklahoma and Auburn. Line's
It won't
3.
be- It won't be much of a game.
I don't see it.
Auburn's
Oklahoma's
struggling.
changed their quarterback.
And Auburn's struggling.
I would
Auburn
take
can't-
Oklahoma in that.
Auburn can't beat themselves right now.
That's what Hugh Freeze was saying. I felt sorry for this interview he
They
gave the other day. He
can't.
just
Well,
says,
Well,
what do you do?
let me ask y'all something. During the game against Tennessee, you saw a new quarterback evolve for Oklahoma, probably.
Probably.
That kid came in,
Yeah.
and it's like
Mhm.
I think he surprised a lot of people. I didn't expect, I didn't know who he was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know their first string quarterback. But when he came in, I saw this is sad. And he fought. I mean, he made some plays. He took it. He
It's
earned
at Auburn.
that position.
At Auburn.
It's at Auburn, but I still don't think
Back
Auburn get out of their way.
to that Tennessee game, I think a lot of people, some people, especially some of my buddies, were down on Heupel for not getting conservative. Well, hey guys, your left tackle didn't go.
You-
Your right tackle got hurt. Your other left tackle got hurt, and
You
the field was
control-
in terrible
We
shape.
were in control of the game.
What?
Absolutely.
I don't understand this.
I don't either.
To me, that's
I don't
more
know.
impressive. The
Well,
way
well-
we won.
Well, no, they're
I know.
betting on Tennessee
I know.
and giving up points.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it is.
Well, they
Right.
still covered on that
and
aspect
and
too.
listen, this is where he got his start. He's at home at Oklahoma, who didn't very many people give him a chance. He played there. He coached there. That's his. You ain't going to do that.
There was 10 straight plays in this game, and Oklahoma didn't get a yard.
And I have
Not a yard.
a lot more respect for him doing that, pulling it back, than I do onside kicking against Kent State. Because this is the same guy that onside kicked in the first quarter against Kent State, up 35-0 or something like that, and he pulls. I got respect for a coach that does that.
And I think
Don't
he knew
wanna
his
rub it
defense
up.
had it. And that's the difference in this team and the other ones. Is this defense
He's
is
got
really doggone good.
defense.
I mean,
agree.
honestly, I don't think he was pulling back from the standpoint of not running the score up. I think he was pulling back, saying, "Watch my defense play.
Yeah.
Right.
Watch this."
And
you
you
know,
didn't
and
want to
he-
do something to let Oklahoma back in the game.
He didn't stay that up tempo like everybody
No,
said.
no, he
does.
did not.
He knows he's got a defense. We talked about that last week.
He's in complete control.
Sure.
Right.
Of the game. I mean, that was him flexing his muscles, saying, "I got control of this game."
That's right.
But what else you got?
Arkansas going to Texas A&M. Arkansas is getting 5.5 points against A&M.
It's going to be a close ball.
Yeah,
I
I think
do
that's
too.
going to be a really
That's going to be a close ball game.
What do you think, Mason, on that one?
I'd say I got a feeling Texas A&M is going to pull that one out just because it's on their home turf.
They struggled against
3
Bowling
points
Green last
maybe?
week on their home turf.
But I just don't see Arkansas putting up a
Arkansas ain't bad, but I don't know. It's going to be tough.
Here's an interesting one. Louisville at Notre Dame. I'm +7 for Louisville. Louisville
I'll
can
take
play football.
I'll
I
take
think I
Louisville.
will too.
I will too.
I'll take Louisville.
Wisconsin and USC. And USC's favored by 15.5.
I'll
I
take
think Wisconsin's that bad.
I'll take Wisconsin
And the points.
on the points, but I think USC will beat them by a
But here's the
touchdown.
thing about Wisconsin. They don't have a starting quarterback. He got hurt against Alabama. But they've had a whole week off
Right.
to prepare for this. And I like Wisconsin.
I just think
I mean,
they're physical. They run the football.
Yeah,
I think they can cover the
I
line.
agree.
Texas, Mississippi State. The line is 38.
Wow.
I'm taking Texas.
I will
Manning's still
too.
starting here.
I'm
Mason.
taking Texas.
Is it
I
Manning
think
again?
I'm pretty.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Manning's still starting.
Well,
Do y'all think that Manning's the quarterback now, or do you
No.
think Ewers comes back?
I think
Ewers.
Ewers
Ewers.
comes back. He
Ewers.
just has that he just has that confidence.
It's
to him.
yours.
You don't lose your job because of injury.
No, you don't use your job. That's right. No.
All right, Illinois, Penn State, line's 18. Illinois is not bad, guys. I'll take
No.
Illinois to cover the 18.
I will too.
Ohio State, Michigan State, another team that's gotten better than people think. Ohio State's favored by 23.5. Michigan State's gotten a whole lot better than
Yeah,
year.
but they ain't Ohio State.
No, they're not. Florida State, SMU. The reason I say this is FSU's in danger. They're a 6.5-point dog at SMU. They may be 1-4.
Have they won?
They won last week. They beat California 14-9 for their first win of the
Yeah,
season.
they're gonna get beat at SMU.
Yeah, I'll take SMU just because I don't think Florida State. is in
SMU
the
put
right
62 on
mindset.
TCU last week. All right, Coach Prime at UCF getting 14. No, actually, the line, I checked it this morning, it's 15.5 now.
So
people
he's
are betting
getting
UCF.
that
You see it? They're on UCF.
I'm gonna take Colorado in that the spread, but I think they'll lose.
All right, and then there's one game left. This is for all the marbles in the world. It's
All of
Georgia and Alabama. Now, that line, what was interesting was Bama was getting a 1.5 all week. Now, Bama's giving a 1.5.
I'm taking Alabama.
I think I am too. But I think Georgia's not like they were that team.
This
so I'm
G
playing
don't
Kentucky.
stand for Georgia. I'm taking Bama.
Okay.
I'm taking Georgia.
All right,
You're going
Mason
against
taking
the
Georgia.
Go ahead, take.
Well, Georgia's had their number a little bit, maybe.
Hey,
Here's at Bama.
here's the deal. I would like to be this dadgum fly right here that's flying around in the truck because my brother, big Alabama fan, and Coach Jake Tyre, big Georgia fan, are in Kansas this week at a big cattle show. They're driving back tonight with a laptop out watching the ball game.
Oh god.
They got Georgia and Alabama, and but that'll be a really good ball game. And I'm gonna tell you this one, just like I've told you 2 or 3 times this year, it's gonna be a really good ball team. Lose this game.
Yeah. All right. Here's
If Alabama wins this game,
Uh-huh.
how big is that Tennessee game in Knoxville going to
Well,
be? You're going to have game day and everybody else.
Oh yeah.
Well, you got
They're gonna
game
be there
day
anyway.
there.
Yeah.
Game day's gonna be there.
I
Anyway.
think this comes down to quarterback play.
Yeah.
I think that's what this comes down. It's not line play because those
But,
lines
and
are
I'm gonna
most
tell you,
terrible.
here's what I think's is going for Georgia. Is they didn't play well last time they played. They didn't play well last time.
Couldn't
they
run the
played.
football on
They didn't
Kentucky.
play
I know.
well.
I mean,
the
that
scary
showed a little.
Yeah.
I don't know. It gives me a little.
But I'm still
Thought
taking Alabama.
Yeah.
You're never as good as you think you are, and you're never bad as you
That's
think you
right.
are
That's
either.
it.
You're
That's
just that's the way it goes.
All right, guys. Let's take another break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about
I'll skip
professional football.
that. Let's skip that. this
You want-
week.
Why do you want to skip it, Bill?
No, I got to hit.
All right.
Are we still on?
Yeah, we're still
Yeah,
on.
we're still
We're
on.
going to take and hear from a break and hear from First Bank. We'll be right back.
No.
All right, guys, we're back in here now with Bedford County Sports Talk Live and the dreaded Titan Talk. Here we come.
Hey,
Bill, what's going on, man?
It's all bad. We got out coached, we got outplayed, and we've got a quarterback that'll just hand it to you.
listen. Shout out to my guys there in Green Bay that's watching me. Chris, Aaron, Duff. Go Pack Go. Thank you, guys.
They can't take that serious.
Oh, yeah. I told them, I said, y'all win, I'm going to surprise you. Hey,
Oh,
the Packers played well.
They did.
The Packers can play. They're good. They got a big challenge this week. And I don't think Tennessee's as bad as everybody's giving them credit for. And I don't think their quarterback's as bad as everybody's saying he is. He's a competitor
yeah.
who hates to lose.
He has-
Tennessee is about 2 players away from being really good, and they are offensive linemen. You give him some time in the he got sacked 8 times and got hit how many more? I don't care who it is. The difference between where Willis is now and where he was, he's got some protection.
He walked into 4 of them.
There you go. I've never seen an NFL quarterback with no pocket presence, no football IQ whatsoever. You don't even know they're coming, and you run into the rush.
And he's still a rookie who
Oh.
didn't get who
No,
hasn't.
he's the same guy we saw at Kentucky his senior season. Ain't nothing changed.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now,
Pick six. Let's just
They will.
boom.
They will beat Miami Monday night.
And they may, because Miami is on their third string quarterback.
Don't
But
matter,
don't be
but they will
surprised
beat
if
them.
Tyler Huntley didn't come in here and look pretty
they're
good.
not that far away. I'm telling
Well,
you,
he's
they're
optimistic
not that far
about the
away.
Titans, and Bill, you
Let me say this: your first round pick, your left guard Sharansky, was horrible against the Packers. They abused that guy, and he's a first round pick. Now Lathan played great. He's the only one.
Hey, Packers can play. Packers are deep. Now we'll see this week, but the Packers defense, they've got they got 7 or 8 defensive linemen. They just keep rotating them in. They can play. Now,
And defensively, we played terrible. We couldn't tackle.
after seeing that game, do y'all think Malik Willis should be our backup or even our starter?
No, Malik Willis is a Packer.
I know he
shouldn't
is.
be yours.
I know that.
Y'all didn't want him.
Y'all
And that's
nothing.
the best 7th round draft pick we've used in a while.
Well,
And they love him in Green Bay just like they loved him in Tennessee. He's a great locker room guy. He's this guy right here
Right.
at a different place.
Right.
And he's going to be successful. The difference is I think he's got a little bit more confidence when he went to Green Bay, because when he was at Tennessee, they wanted to make him fit what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
When he went to Green Bay, LaFleur developed the offense around what Malik does.
that's good coaching.
And that's what really good coaches do.
That's what good
exactly
coaches do.
right.
They take their talent and utilize it to the max. And how many times have you seen people take their system and ram the players into it? You can't do that.
You've got to change.
Yeah.
Can't put a square peg in a round hole.
Exactly. You let
But
them.
your square peg's going to have to be a whole lot smaller than it was.
It's not going to work.
And it ain't going to work.
Guys,
But the pocket awareness, is that not a problem for you, David, with Levis, the IQ aspect of
He didn't
this?
have no pocket.
well, it was there for at least a second.
Well, yeah,
He has to-
second.
he
There's
has
times he ran right into the
Hey,
rush, so guys. He
Mason-
went right into it.
Mason Anderson has never played quarterback. What is it like when you know as soon as you get the ball, you're having to look at defensive linemen instead of looking
Careful
at
how you
receivers?
answer that. You got a great line. Remember?
I have a great line.
That's right.
You didn't have to worry about
I
that.
don't
the
have to
other
worry
night.
about that. But
No,
I
no, no.
have played on teams that I have had to worry about that. You just got to get the ball out quick.
But do you know where it's going when you got to get it out quick because you don't have time to look?
No.
No.
Not really.
All right, Mason, if you're going to the ground and David Thomas and Bill Anderson are on you, are you going to flick the ball out like that?
And that's the
No, I'm on
competitive.
most of it.
There you go. Yes, sir.
That's the competitive nature
Right.
in him.
He overestimates his ability.
Callahan is going to get out of
Okay.
it. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think the coach has a lot of confidence in him
Oh,
also,
yeah.
or he would have yanked him.
Yeah, he definitely is a
He-
fighter.
Had he yanked
is a
him, we'd be
competitor.
2-1 right now and not 0-3.
You just never know. But it's what do we do now, Bill? What's the inside?
We go 0-4, and I mean, where you at?
I don't think it's the quarterback.
And here's the deal. He's thrown some balls. He's thrown some balls that his receivers have let him down on. And then the other day against the Packers toward the end, he got the Hopkins and the Riggin. That outfit, they got to click in there a little bit. So,
Hopkins got to click, and Ridley didn't. He had one catch.
well, that's because they didn't go to him a whole lot. The Packers got a pretty good corner.
There's two positions in sports that really are put in an awkward position, and that's a pitcher on a baseball team and the quarterback on a football team. They get the win or they get the loss, and it's a team sport.
That's
Both of them are.
Mhm.
Okay, it always makes me cringe when I hear a pitcher getting credit for the win when he had players out there diving, making catches, hitting the ball, scoring runs,
Agreed.
and the quarterback can't take the credit for the win. Just like he came in and he started talking about his line. Okay, it was a team win. The quarterback, because he touches the ball most every play on offense, gets the blame or he gets the credit.
I've
And
always-
unfortunately, it's
I've
just,
always said the quarterback gets too much credit and too much blame.
Yeah.
They
Three
get too
games,
much
3
credit.
pick sixes. 3 games, 3
there's
pick sixes.
plenty.
Three games, 3 pick sixes.
He's got plenty of blame to go around to him.
Plus
There's
the
right
flicks,
about it.
plus the fumble, plus
Right.
we fumbled again because we can't feel the rush. At some
Right.
point, you got to know
Right.
it's coming,
Yeah.
especially if you didn't get killed that way.
You know when he knows it's coming?
After it's over,
When they snap it.
after
When
it's
they
over.
snap the ball, he knows the rush
Oh.
is coming. He's
All right.
got to get the line.
I'm just telling you,
Listen,
the awareness in there. It wasn't there in
good.
Kentucky.
No good football team does not have a good offensive line.
The guy, NFL arm.
Yeah.
Great
Oh,
athlete.
man. Yes.
Jamarcus Russell had an NFL arm, and we see what it landed him too because of this right here.
All right. 3 weeks from now, let's see where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
If we're 0 and whatever, we got some validity to Levis not being who he needs to be. All right, because he does take some of the blame, not all of it.
And
He's got to have that line.
And he's taking it. He's manning up and taking it, and he's wanting to.
But let's think about what you've done already. Your left tackle, first round pick. Your left guard, first round pick. Spent a bunch of money on the center.
That's a start.
Spent a bunch of money on the center.
And
your right guard is a second round pick, and your right tackle is a third round pick.
Yeah, but the right tackle, and as much as I like Raditz, they can do better there. And they got to do better at that right tackle. I don't care what kind of pick.
Well, the sad thing was they take Ferrer out. They put Duncan in, and Duncan was worse.
They weren't, and that's what I'm talking about.
He was worse.
You've got to have.
Well, at some point, if I'm that bad at right tackle, I'm taking one of these tight ends and I'm chipping on that side just to help the guy. I didn't see any of that going on. There was some coaching issues I had.
Well, it takes a player out of the route too when you do that.
Well, maybe, but if you've got that much trouble,
it takes him out for a second.
Yeah.
But here's the other key stat.
Yeah.
Malik Willis outrushed the entire Tennessee Titans 2-1.
Yeah.
2-1.
All right, guys. We need to stop. But we promised Robbie Davis we were going to comment on the UNLV quarterback back in. All right, so the story is UNLV guy decides
he's 3-0.
He's 3-0, so he's got leverage. He don't like the NIL.
And he's in one of those conferences that if they win the conference,
he does like
the
NIL deal. He was told he was going to get money,
and he didn't get it. Right.
And he said, "Hey, because you didn't pay me, I ain't playing. I'll just redshirt."
It's turned college sports into professional athletics.
I agree. You know why?
That's what's happening.
Because he's got what's he have? He's got a person that.
Oh, he's got an agent, basically.
There you go. How many? 5 years ago, did any?
That was against the rules. You would get on suspension for a year for doing stuff like that.
Yeah, hey, you could be a SMU and lose your program because it happened.
You can blame all this on the NCAA. You can blame it all on them. If they're the governing body and they set up this kind of garbage that's diluting this game out. I mean, you got players coming in 1-2 years. 1 year they're transferring, and another year they're transferring. It's not.
We talked about you talked about Michigan State, the team they play this week, $20 million team, $20+ million. They got 20 months. They got $20+ million in NIL money in their players at Ohio State this year.
That's unbelievable.
And something's got to happen.
Yeah, well, it's happening in Tennessee. It's happening in every major college.
You got to do it. I mean, if you don't do it, you're penalizing your team.
Well, you better be getting some lawyers together to write up these little contracts a little better
disagree.
Too, and maybe that would stop some of this, so people like Todd Bubba can make more money.
But here's the thing: who was it? I mean, I don't know. We're talking about this NIL and this quarterback. He's supposed to be getting this money. Who's he supposed to be getting this money from?
Well, somebody agreed to pay the $100,000. The university's saying
all
that.
right.
Yeah,
somebody's supposed to be paying him, but the university says no. So is he playing football for that person that's supposed to be playing him, or is he playing for the university?
Question. Tennessee Spire is the one doing the NIL. So are you playing for Spire or are you playing for Tennessee?
Well, obviously you're playing for him. He's the one with the paycheck. You know,
it's not a good precedent for college football.
Now, guys, here's my next part of it. Here he is. He's going to redshirt. Who's going to want him?
Somebody.
Well, yeah, somebody will take him, but. I mean, from UNLV,
if you're going to walk away from them, I say you're not going to walk away from me.
Is he a good enough quarterback to take a step up to another college that's better, bigger SEC school? I don't know either. I mean, that's for them to decide. But it's turned into a business. That's the whole point.
Here's Parkerism. I don't want to quit her.
Yeah,
I don't want to quit her.
Yeah, and we've said this before. It changes your NFL draft too because people aren't going to be 4th, 5th, 6th round, 7th round picks when the NIL deal's better than state school.
I got to thinking about that last night. Some of these guys that are juniors that normally come out in the draft early, they're staying because they're going to make more money playing their senior year than they're going to make on their rookie contract.
Yeah, the whole contract.
Yeah.
Yeah,
guys, we need to move. We're past deadline here. We got another show coming up, but this is an interesting conversation. And I think we're going to be talking about it for the next couple of years. I don't think it's going away.
Let's get Coach Davis on here one week.
Yeah,
He'll go
let
off
him-
about it.
yeah.
He'll give
Well,
you
next
Mason. So what are y'all doing this week? Are y'all going to heal up? Or y'all going to
Get
hit
a
the
few
practice
days
field?
off.
Or
Well, I think we're gonna get maybe 1 or 2 days off, but we're gonna keep working.
You got to keep
All right.
working.
And who you getting ready for next?
Spring Hill.
Spring Hill.
All right.
All
we
right,
got
there-
one home game left.
Yep, one
Yeah.
home game left.
Same.
3 on the road.
Well, it's good having you sitting here
Yeah.
with us, Mason.
We appreciate it.
Big
Yeah,
game
well,
last
when we
night.
come back and do
Congratulations.
this again.
Yep.
We talked too much and we didn't let you have the microphone. I know I could tell you was wanting to talk, chime in on some of
Yeah,
this
he's
college
just-
stuff.
And I
But,
saw on the radio that Drew and them gave you the player of the game on
Yeah.
the radio.
He should
Yeah,
have
I tell you,
been.
he should have been.
Yeah,
Outstanding
absolutely.
effort.
Yeah, great,
Should have been.
great
You were the
game.
ultimate team player.
Should have been. That's
Absolutely.
right.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you again, same time, same place next week. And hopefully